What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you all for tuning back in. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Ireland game. We're going to be talking about the 3 top 10 Week 1 games, and we're going to be talking about the Oklahoma Sooners football game. In the first section of today's video, we're going to be talking about the Dublin, Ireland game between Kansas State and Iowa State. It's football. Football is back. Everyone's ready. We're excited. Let's go. It's college football season. With that being said, this game was definitely the first game of the season. I mean, let's talk about sloppy football in the first half. I've never seen a sloppier game in my life. I mean, 4 fumbles total, 1 muffed punt. It just wasn't good football. The only good things I saw in the first half were Rocco Becht had some beautiful fade balls, that fade ball in the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Avery Johnson used his legs pretty well. That was exciting to see. In the second half, though, Matt Campbell won this football game for Iowa State. He didn't call that timeout at the end of the first half, which I disagreed with, but in the end it paid off for him. The other big thing, though, that big gamble in the fourth quarter to win the football game. He went for it on fourth down, and they were able to kneel the football out. The running back, Hansen, almost scored a touchdown. It was actually beneficial at the overturning rule, was no touchdown, and they won the football game because of it. Next up on today's slate, we're going to be talking about the Ohio State versus Texas game. In the shoe, Lee Corso's final college game day appearance. It's going to be a big game. It's the biggest game. It's the biggest Week 1 game we have had that I can ever remember watching college football of. So this is awesome. It's a great Week 1 slate. This Texas-Ohio State game has so many unknowns and unknowns for the season. I think it's awesome. Ohio State is bringing in a brand new OC and DC. The DC is out of house. The Ohio State offensive coordinator is in-house. Their old wide receiver coach, Brian Hartline. Ohio State had 14 players drafted and 4 first-round draft picks. That is a lot of production to fill with a lot of young players. They're not as experienced as they were last year, but they're still a good team. And because they have Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, who I believe are the 2 best players in the country, this Ohio State team is dynamic. They have Julian Sayin from a transfer from Alabama at quarterback. I think he's good. The reports out of fall camp are that he's been pretty good. He had to earn this spot, and I like that. I think it's better when a quarterback has to earn their spot than given the spot. I think it helps create better player production in the future. For Texas, they have a lot of unknowns also. They had 12 players drafted, 3 in the first round, and they have Arch Manning at quarterback. Everyone's hyping up Arch Manning in the media. I think Arch Manning will be a good quarterback in college football and in the SEC. I just don't know if he's ready Week 1 against Ohio State's defense. Ohio State's defensive line isn't what it was last year, but it's not bad by any means. It's still a good defense and a good defensive line that's young. Arch Manning, I just don't know if he has the tools and the mentality to be able to go into the horseshoe and win a game in Week 1. This is Arch Manning's first ever start against a Power 4 opponent. It's a lot. It's a big ask for him. I do think, though, that Texas is going to rely a lot on the run game and make it simple for Arch Manning. If Ohio State can stop this run game, I think that life becomes hard on Arch Manning, and Arch Manning's going to try to do things that Arch Manning isn't ready to do, and it's going to be costly to Texas. I think because of this, Ohio State is going to pull out the win. I think they win 24-20 at home. Next up on the slate, we have LSU at Clemson, at the Death Valley. The battle for who the real Death Valley is. This game, I think, is going to be an offensive show. It's going to be fireworks. We have 2 Heisman contenders in Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier. These are the two of the favorites on all the sports books right now to win the Heisman. I think it's going to be a really fun game. I think the biggest questions in this game are, can Clemson stop the run? Because they were horrible at it last year. They allowed over 250 rushing yards to Texas in their playoff game. But can LSU run the football? Because they were horrible at running the football last year. So they're going to have to be able to attack each other's weaknesses to win these football games. I think that Clemson has the edge in the fact that they have 16 returning starters. 4 out of their 5 starting offensive linemen are coming back. They have their quarterback, their full starting wide receiver room. That is huge for this Clemson offense. The continuity on this team is insane, and it's going to be really helpful bringing all this production back from last year to build off of. I think that Garrett Riley is going to have a really fun time with this offense, and I think they're going to be able to lead Cade Klubnik to a Heisman-level season. On the other hand, LSU is returning 7 starters, some of those being Garrett Nussmeier, Caden Durham, and Aaron Anderson. Those are the 3 key offensive players. But they're losing a lot of production on the O-line and their tight end room. They're also bringing back their linebacker, Whit Weeks, who I think is one of the best linebackers in the SEC. He's going to be out for it this year after being snubbed from awards last year. I think the biggest question for this game is Can LSU stop the big plays? With Clemson having so much returning offense and so much returning production, can LSU do what they couldn't do last year and stop the big plays in the air? If they can't, I think LSU wins this game. But I don't think they will be able to. With that being said, I think Clemson's going to pull out a win 34-30. Next up on the docket, we have Notre Dame at Miami on Sunday at 6:30. This game is going to be fun. We have a Sunday night college football game for a packed college football weekend, ending it off with this rivalry game. Notre Dame has 11 starters returning. They have 3 offensive linemen, their running back Jeremiah Love, and both of their good wide receivers, who I think are poised for breakout seasons. They have C.J. Carr, who I think his biggest weapon this year is going to be Jeremiah Love, with him making this season easy for him. If Jeremiah Love can do what he did last year and have a 1,000 rushing yard season and have 15 to 20 touchdowns, that makes C.J. Carr's job really, really, really easy, because he's not having to put the ball in his hands as much. When he has a running back he can trust with the game on the line. For Miami, they only have 8 returning starters, 3 offensive linemen, which is great for Carson Beck, because Carson Beck is going to love that experienced O-line, because it will help Carson Beck not have to make as many plays with his legs, which he's not as good at as Cam Ward was. In my opinion, if Carson Beck can be 2/3 of what Cam Ward was offensive-wise, I think that this Miami team, will be a playoff team, because this is a much more well-rounded team. They have a better defense than last year, and they have better, well-rounded offense. With that being said, I don't know if he can be that guy. And I think this game against Notre Dame's defense, against the defending runners-up from last year, I think that Notre Dame is going to give Miami all of the best defensive play calls they have. They're going to send the book at him. They're going to make Carson Beck uncomfortable all game. They're going to do their best to make it uncomfortable. Because if they can make Carson Beck uncomfortable, that makes C.J. Carr on the other sideline feel really comfortable. If he knows his defense has trust in him, and he knows that his running back, he can trust him. I think with that being said, some of the biggest keys are, can Miami stop the run? If Miami can stop the run and make C.J. Carr become a passer in this game, I think that Miami has a good chance at winning. But I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think that Notre Dame is going to be able to run the ball down their throats. I don't think this defensive line is ready yet. I think maybe at season's end it has a chance to be ready. I just don't know if it's there in week 1. And I know for a fact Jeremiah Love is there week 1. And because of that, I think that Notre Dame pulls this out. Usually I would say this is a toss-up game where I think the home team wins. But because the home team is Miami in Hard Rock Stadium, where it's usually not a very big home field advantage, I don't think that helps them at all. So I think Notre Dame wins this one 30-21 on the back of Jeremiah Love with 2 rushing touchdowns. Ending out today's video, we're going to be talking about the Oklahoma Sooners game hosting Illinois State. I think this one's going to be a blowout. I think we all know it is. But I think that we're going to see John Mateer get some new play calls in this offense. We're going to see Jaden Ott. I think Jaden Ott's going to rush for over 200 yards. I think we see John Mateer throw the ball around 12 to 15 times. I don't think too much more than that. I think Ben Arbuckle is going to keep this offense very, very vanilla, especially with Michigan coming into town the following week. With that being said, I think Oklahoma pulls out an easy win at 5:30. I think they're going to win 52-3. That's my prediction. I don't think Illinois State scores more than 3. I think 3 is their ceiling. Thank you all for tuning in for another episode this week. Remember, next week we'll be back with 2 more videos talking about the previews and the reviews for the upcoming games. Boomer.